Hiya and welcome to another exciting episode of a Landy called Noel. So it's another lovely day here, and I've got a bit of an action episode for you today. Quite a few people, that's a lie actually, not quite a few people, one person in particular has been asking me about seeing some actual welding. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm a little bit nervous because this panel, which I've been building up to for a while, it's quite a big panel. Sorry about that light, that's not very good. If I come around here, I think the light's a bit better. Yeah, look at that now. So obviously this is the near side footwell panel, and you may have seen it in place before. I mean, it must have already been in and out, I don't know, 20 times maybe, trial fitting it, cutting little bits off, checking it, etc, etc. But just before we start, I just want to take you through a couple of technical sort of parts to this. So those keen, I'm going to grab the light. Right, so you'll see that I've already boxed in the A-post now. That's that panel there is properly welded into position. If I come around here now, it went okay, but there was one or two things I wasn't massively happy with. If I just put this light on the floor, I want to show you. Sorry if that went out of focus because I reached down. Yes, it did. Let's try and focus it up. There we go. And we've got sunlight on the bit that I really want to show you. So it went wrong there. You can see I actually put too much heat into this panel and it bloody well warped. So I was gutted about that. And because of that warp, it has affected the alignment of this panel very, very slightly. If you come around here, come back here, before, during trial fits, let's put the light on something that's going to magnetize too. We had a beautiful line up here, and now we've got a gap. And this is the final position of this piece because I've already started putting it in, and whichever way you look at it, there was going to be an issue there. I mean, it's not a big issue, don't get me wrong. It's really not going to affect anything other than I'm not happy with it. It should be right up there. It should have been closer. I'm pretty sure it's not going to affect anything like with the door fitting because the A-post hasn't moved. It's this panel that have moved, and it's also not beautifully flat along this edge. You can see the other side of the welds there. So on, yeah, this one, I just put a little bit too much heat into it. Anyway, so I'm just showing you warts and all at the moment. I don't really like people looking at my welding, I got to be honest, until I've, cleaned it up and it looks nice. So you're highly privileged. I mean, look, I've already tacked in from the other side. I wouldn't normally want people to see all the burn marks because they just look awful. However, this is what I've been asked to do. Now, you can see that this panel is pretty difficult for one person to put in terms of getting it all clamped up correctly. Now, I don't have welding clicos, which some of you may know what they are, but they're basically a method of fastening the panel in place whilst you weld it so that all the edges then go properly right up to where you want them to sit, i.e. right up in here, So I've been using my friend, my altered jack, which I've had for many, many years and is extremely handy for this kind of situation where I really need another pair of hands, but I haven't obviously got them. So that now is pressing down on here to make sure that the mating surfaces are as close together as they can possibly be for me to weld. I've also put a screw in here. So on my next victim is going to be this hole. So I've drilled lots of holes to plug weld this in. Yes, you could seam weld it down here, but that's just not right. It's tempting to do because you get a better weld, to be honest, but it's not correct. It's not how the Land Rover would have been. I mean, obviously it would have been spot welded, not plug welded. Let's get that out there. I don't have a spot welder. I have used one before and I haven't actually got on with it very well. I've found that you put the jaws together, press the trigger, it creates the weld, and then when you go back and check it for strength, it pops apart. So that was just my experience. The welder I was using was obviously not powerful enough to do a proper spot weld. So we are plug welding, which I much prefer because I can then see the pool of weld starting in here, and I can see the other surface, and I can see the two fuse together. So it's an absolutely visual confirmation of the strength of the weld. Now, you can see there's a load of holes down here. So also, what I think is important to point out here, these holes here are 6.5 mil. Now, you can get a little hole puncher, which makes putting holes in panels an absolute breeze, but they're not big enough holes. If you just try and weld those holes, I don't know what size they are, they're probably about 3 or 4 mil. It is not big enough for you to get decent penetration on your weld. So 6.5 or 7 mil hole is what you need, and it also pretty much replicates the size of the original spot welds. Okay, so that's my top tip on plug welding. So I'm going to put the I'm going to try and put the phone in a position where you're going to be able to see what's going on, and we'll do some welding. I'm not going to film me doing putting the entire panel in, because god damn it, that would just be too long, and you definitely go to sleep. So here we go. Bear with me for any bad language. It is quite a fraught thing to do this. I mean, there's been a lot of work up to this point to get this far, and it's quite easy to screw it up. I've already warmed the welder up, so we'll put that one in, and then we can take the jack out of the way. I hope you can see this. I hope you don't get arc eye. I've got no idea what it's going to be like. Here we go. I can barely see what I'm doing down there as well. Yeah, I haven't quite got the hole, but I've got penetration enough for me to remove this, and then I can get in there a bit better. We're also looking for a nice even sound on the welder. There we go. That's done it. Out of the way. Right, let's have a look at this now. Yeah, I mean, it needs some finishing, but that's okay. So what I learned really before, it's funny with welding, you know, I always considered myself, I know I've said this before, a really good welder over the years, but basically the 2 years that have lapsed since I've done any welding, i.e. Finishing the GT and then not really doing any welding, I've definitely lost the edge. I'm going to cool this down. Now if the compressor kicks in, I don't know what I'll do. I don't want this panel to get too hot. We want to stick another weld next to it really. still got a little bit of flex. Let me turn that off a minute. Sorry about that. It was bound to happen. I put the dogs away, by the way, so that they don't interfere. I might try tapping that flange from the other side. See. Yeah, if I'm happier with that, we can put another one in there. Yeah, that's okay. Where's my wire brush gone? It's not imperative to immediately brush the well, but that's just me. You want to weld in a kind of similar way to tightening a cylinder head in alternate areas. So I'm going to go over here so we don't put too much heat into one area. Yeah, that's okay, and then we'll have a little check on the back and we can see the penetration on the back. Tidy. Check carefully where else. I've still got a little bit of flex in here. I've got no idea how awful that hammering sounds, so sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. It does need, just needs a little. It needs a little bit of that. A little bit of the hammer pushing it down. Try to put the light somewhere where it doesn't interfere with my welding helmet and you guys will still be able to see. Although my head's probably going to be in the way. I'm a little bit too far away from it there. Yeah, we've taken the flex out of it though. There's no more flex in that panel. So I can just finish that off now. This particular weld, right. It's all fun and games trying to stick your head down this footwell with your welding mask on. Okay. Okay. So I'll do a couple more over here and then we'll call it a day, and I'll finish off this without you looking over my shoulder, criticising everything I do. I know what you're like. Yeah, that's nice, because of course on this side we got all new metal. Right, come on in here. Oh my god, it's already 50 minutes long. You'll be bored shitless on this one. Oops, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. So yeah, there you go. There's a couple of welds for you. I think this video has run on way too long. I'll be amazed if you all make it to this point. So next time you'll see that all properly finished and linished and sealed and maybe in primer. Thanks very much for watching. As always, thanks for all the support, and you know, you're coming on a journey with me. I massively appreciate it all. And all of the new subscribers, of course, the old subscribers, is fantastic. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.